establishing security controls within your environment is absolutely a great first step. Although without that accountability associated with it, we're not going to get anywhere. So here, let's use an example here and talk a little bit about some of those things and how security controls and events have to be correlated. So here we do our nightly checks within our house with the objective, of course, to keep our family safe. We want to keep them safe using, security controls, things that we have established and set up, alarms, doors, windows. We go through, lock those, set them, do all of that stuff. Today we're going to talk about windows specifically, and we're going to associate a number 10 to that window. What that means is that the risk to your home, 1 being little, 10 being great, 10, if I have a broken window or I see somebody coming into a window that's not supposed to be, that's a primary threat to the safety of my family. So, what other things could impact that? Well, the night before, we heard the dog out back barking. Now, the dog barking, he barks at a lot of things, right? So, we call that an indirect impact to that window, to the safety of that window, an indirect control impact. So the dog barks, we don't really think anything of it, but we associate a weight to that dog barking, a 3. It's not a 10. It's not critical. The safety of our family is not at threat. 3 is just the dog's barking at something. Could be something. Now, in addition, we see footsteps in the mud. Now, footsteps by themselves don't represent much weight at all, 1.5 actually. But the footsteps around the house represent 1.5 of that window control, which is we don't want somebody breaking through the window. That would be a direct safety violation for our family. So 1.5, this is an indirect control impact, right? It has an impact on the safety of our family, but in an indirect way. We see footsteps around the house, the dog's barking. We still aren't convinced that something is wrong in our environment, and there may not be anything wrong. Now we see a direct control impact. We look around the house and now we see broken glass. Now, broken glass carries a weight of 10, meaning that if I ever see broken glass, I immediately interpret that to be a threat against my family. When I add up 1.5 and 3, it equals 4.5. Now, it's not an urgent threat like a broken window, but it does have more weight now. 4.5 out of 10, it is a moderate risk to the safety of my family. So I have to be able to consider that. So let's take a look here at what all of these things are. The one there represents, and you can see controls there in the lower left and up on towards the middle top of the screen. Controls are things like alarms, doors, and windows. And we're not going to talk really about security controls, but they are the actions that you take in order to secure your environment. Alarms, doors, and windows. The events within our environment are represented with a number 2. These are all of the events that go on in our environment. The impact to the health of that one control called Windows. So in many IT environments, we wait until the broken glass happens. And we get the 10, it's obvious what occurs, the threat is imminent, and now we take action because the control, in this case, the Windows, has a broken window. We immediately escalate that to the weight of 10. What we fail at, and what security environments truly need today, is the collective intelligence of all of the indirect impacts that allow us as IT administrators and security officers to evaluate, hey, there were footsteps outside last night around the house. The dog was barking. We may have a problem here. But without those data points, without evaluating all of this information, we have no idea really what our security health is. That's why a control without accountability is just a really good practice that we have to follow. Many users in their environments will tell me that their environment is secure. Of course, I have a firewall, it's working. Aren't I secure? Well, absolutely. Having a firewall in the environment is absolutely a good first step. Although, similar to our window example here, what is it that's going to trigger what event occurs within that firewall to make us aware that a threat is upon us? That is the key to securing an environment, securing our home as well as securing an IT environment.